What is happening, everybody? Thank you so much again for tuning into another video. It looks like we're going to be doing another lap guide today. We're doing Spa in a Group 3 car, and to be honest, this is where everything started for me in GT Sport. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. And to kick it off, as we did last time, we're just going to have a look at a track map. And this is going to help us to find the focus areas where we definitely don't want to be wasting any time. So turn 1 is an incredibly important corner, finding the right braking, the right turning point so that you can get on the power as soon as possible. Turn 2, 3 and 4, Eau Rouge, the faster you take that the better. Turn 9, so much time to be made over here. Turn 14 and 15, Stavelot, very important. And then finally the line through turn 16 and 17, Francorchamps. If you get that right, you can easily make 2/10 on your lap time. Now, last week I said that I would focus on some of the turns, and I don't think I did it justice. So this week we're going to look at the visual cues before we run into the lap guide. For turn 1, it's going to be the 100-meter board. Just as you pass it, that's going to be your braking point. Finally, the cone at the end of the straight, just after the 50-meter board, that's also really important, as that's the point where you start to turn in for that corner. For turn 2, you're going to be looking for a red line that goes across the track. You would never have seen it before, but once you find it, you'll never miss it. Secondly, you want to make sure as you cross this line that your wheels are in line with these two lines over here. That's the way that you're going to cross the curb. Finally, you're going to be looking for the point where you turn in to the corner without having to lift off the throttle. Between these two lines, this will be where you turn up. Just make sure each car will be different. So I'm driving the R8 over here, so it's just after the curb that I'm able to turn in. You'll also notice that there's a black line for the actual line, the racing line, and that's where the most grip is. So if you can follow that line through the corner, you'll be spot on and you'll carry the most speed through there. For turn 9, this cone on the right hand side, that's going to be the point where you're turning into the corner and just tap on the brakes to help the car rotate. It's very tempting to brake later for this corner, but you end up compromising your exit, and because there's such a long straight after there, it's very important that you just get the exit spot on. For turn 14, Stavelot, you're going to be looking for about a car's length ahead of the curb up ahead, or when the back of your car passes these two cones on the left hand side. Now, for turn 17, Francorchamps, you're going to be looking for this very specific tire mark on the right hand side. As you cross it, you're going to be turning into the left hand side. It'll feel like you're turning in too early, but because of the speed you're carrying through there, it'll be just right. So let's hop onto the hot lap and just see where we can save some time. So you're going to be looking for the 100-meter board on the left hand side, and then also the cone straight up ahead. So braking in a straight line and then turning in at that cone, trail braking quite nicely, and then gently getting on the power and then powering out and then driving it out onto this curb. That'll take you down to turn 2. As we mentioned before, you're looking for that red line, but hang right as much as possible and then turn in as you see that red line. Then turn up Eau Rouge, and that's how you do it. You're able to maximize that turn 4 curb, but make sure you don't cross the white line on the left hand side, otherwise you'll get a penalty. For turn 5, you're going to look for just after the 100-meter board. That's when you're going to start gearing down. For the Audi, you go down into 3rd, and then just before you turn in, drop into 2nd. That'll help with the rotation. Then you're going to flat out for a little bit, then completely let off the gas, and that will rotate the car. You'll almost slide through the corner, and then you get the power on as quickly as possible, and that will straighten out the car. Again, drop off the throttle for rotation, and then power out and gear up, and that'll help you rotate so that you don't run off this curb. Your next braking point is going to be the 2 cones on the left hand side. Drop down 2 gears, brake in a straight line, and then trail brake until the end of the change in tarmac. Be sure not to get on the accelerator too soon, otherwise you'll extend the turning angle by way too much. Next up, you're going to look for the cone on the right hand side. Make sure that you're turning into the corner before you brake, and then try and capitalize on this curb just a little bit, and then don't touch the Astro on the right hand side. That is so important. Don't touch it. The next braking point is just after the 50-meter board and just in front of this black board on the right hand side. Drop down a gear and then trail brake just a little bit, and then get back on the power by the time you pass that cone. Try and maximize the curb. Again, do not touch the Astro, and then try and stay as close to this curb as possible. I actually ran a little bit wide here. Your next braking point is up on the left hand side, just before the curb, or just past these two cones on the left hand side. Drop 2 gears, trail brake, and then drop down into second so that you can get as close to this curb as possible. Roll around and then easily get back onto the accelerator, straighten the car, drop off the acceleration for rotation, back onto the power, and then shift up to third for extra rotation. Now, as discussed before, the 2 cones on the left hand side are your braking point. Drop down at the second, really maximize the curb on the right hand side and get on the power as early as possible. Then you're going to maximize the curb on the left hand side, and just before the last cone over here, you're going to start turning in. Lift off the throttle just a little bit for rotation, and then get back on the power as soon as possible. Do not touch the Astro on the left hand side. Now you're just going to go flat out around the next bend. Try and straighten out as much as possible. As you pass this cone, go straight to the opposite side of the track. Make sure to keep at least the left 2 wheels inside the white line. Look for that mark we spoke about. Turn in, and bam! You just finished Blanchiment. Just like that. So the next tip is a bit of a pro tip. Do not go all the way to the left hand side of the track. Brake in a straight line from the middle of the track to the outside of the track. And what this is going to do is it's going to extend your braking zone, but saving you time because you can brake later in the road. Your braking point is just after the 150 meter board, those 2 cones. That's where you're going to start dropping down into first gear. So 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, gradual changes, trail brake over this curb. Be careful not to accelerate too soon. Pop some gas, tap the brake for rotation, and then gradually get onto the power for the exit. And that's how you do a hot lap of Spa, guys. Not that hard. I'll leave the lap to run one more time without any commentary, but I'd just like to thank you for watching the video, and I really hope that this video helped you to drop some time on the Spa lap time, guys. Enjoy.